Welcome to the Rock Show, people. I am your host, John Christopher Miller, and what I have in front of me are body parts. So, I'm not a paleontologist, nor do I ever want to be one. I don't know any of, none of my friends are, none of my relation is. I do believe they exist, I think, but that's besides the point. So if you want to know what angle I'm coming from as far as this goes, look up mud fossils. You can Google it and research it. You can go to Mud Fossil University on YouTube. That guy's thinking. He's got some stinking thinking. And there's some things that don't line up with reality because we do live on a flat plane. But besides that, he definitely goes into the actual anatomy of human bodies and structures of different organisms and shows how they've all turned to rock, what we know as rock. Um, so, as far as the flood goes, Noah was a real person. There's many accounts through history of in different cultures and everything that point to the worldwide flood. Regardless of your religion, the evidence is all around. I'm not really going to get into the specifics. You need to research things instead of just being spoon fed everything you're supposed to know. You go to school and you're given the answers. You never get to figure anything out for yourself or find the truth. Actually, everything they give you is a lie. But that's a whole nother show. That's not the rock show. The rock show is the rocks in front of me. And there might be further episodes as I go creaking and or find rocks anywhere. They're everywhere. There's things everywhere. Organs. All right, so we're going to start over here. Over here, we got some lungs. This is a lung. You can tell where the diaphragm was under there. And then there's a structure right here that shows where the trachea would have been. That most likely snapped off. It looks like it snapped off. This is a lung. These are everywhere because they were filled up with water and mud. And they took on the minerals of the mud. And over time, with the lack of oxygen in the air post-flood, everything solidified. So that's one. This is a bottom of a lung, or maybe a child's lung. Most likely it's just part of a lung. So on the back you have what we know as, what we're taught when we're on the Sesame Street. The little fossils, like the little shells and stuff that the lung was on top of after, it was expelled from the body. Or it was when it was still in a soft state before it took on minerals and became hard. Like that. All right. Those are the lungs. So what we got here is a toe. Right here is the toenail. People were very big before the flood and after the flood. Big people got killed off. Right here's the bone going into the fatty tissue, of a digit. And right there is the toenail. So that's one end of a toe. This one is a thumb. Most likely this is what I think it is. I think it's a thumb of a guy who's definitely, or a girl, who was bigger than me. Roughly, give or take, 2 feet taller than me, I'd say, most likely. 8-footer, who knows? See, and this stuff is the actual skin. It's still on there. Skin's on there, but we're all good, I think. I would think that we're all good. Playing with body parts, doesn't matter. If I get sick in the next couple of days, maybe I'll contract some weird disease that hasn't been around since before the flood. Now this right here, I don't know what this is, but this is an insane rock. It looks like socks. It looks like a ball of socks, but it's not. This actually looks like a bigger version of the little small things you can go to Penn-Dixie and dig up. I don't know what they're called. I could look into that, but it's just cool. It looks like a thing of socks. These are chiclets, most likely. If they're not teeth, which these ones are, this kind of material is either bone or tusk, but these ones are definitely teeth because it shows the root in there. Little, where the pulp would be. It's a lot better if you'd handle these yourself and look at them. I don't know how it's really showing up on there. And then this little guy, the tooth, like I'm British, like I'm Austin friggin' Powers. See that guy? There's the behind the tooth, you know. They didn't have to brush as much because they didn't have fluoride. Once you brush your teeth with fluoride, game's over. Years and years. You end up needing to go to the dentist. These people most likely didn't. But definitely a person a lot bigger. Unless it's a horse tooth, pig tooth, who knows? I don't know all the anatomies of the animals. Maybe there's teeth that are pretty close to looking like humans, but it's a tooth. Pretty sure. This guy right here. I'm venturing to guess on all these because it you know, I could be wrong about the animal or whether it's a person or stuff like that, but I bet you I'm pretty close. There's a lot of theories out there. So, but anyway, this is a heart. You can tell where the aorta went. You can tell the little fatty tissue type stuff that encases it. It's definitely a heart. Or maybe a cow heart. I don't know what cow heart looks like. Maybe an animal heart. Or a human heart. Now the grand finale. Dug this up in a unnamed creek, not too far from my house, up on a ridge, and saw it. Had to go home. I had to get some shovels, and when I pulled it up out of the ground, it practically bled. But of course, it's more iron oxide. It's more looking like rust. It sort of thinking that you know, like it's a metal, but it's not. That's the actual blood. There's structures involved here that you just can't. It doesn't happen by accident. Number one, because it is a rock. It doesn't happen by accident. Number two, can't see anything mechanical on it. So what we have here is a brain. Yes, this is a brain. It's been outside, so that's a little bird crap, so don't worry about that. What we got here is a brain. So when I pulled this up out of the creek, it bled all over from the bottom. Right there. All this is blood. And this it felt like it snapped. Like this was attached to a spinal cord. The way it was sitting, the smaller side was up. And all that was under. Because the fatter side, everything as the person or horse, most likely I'd think it's a person's brain, but I don't know. Could be a beast's. brain, some sort of cattle. Back in the day, you know how big people and animals were. So it was laying like this. The smaller you know, this side of the brain hemisphere is smaller than the other side because everything, you know, you lay on one side and everything goes to one side. So this is the brain. Yeah. There's pieces I have out in the back that are very similar in color and structures. Could have been, I found in the same similar location. Could be part of this, could be other ones, I don't know. But when it cracks off, this going on, it's all dark inside. So I don't know, I'd have to look at more of the anatomies and the biologies of brains and stuff to properly identify this one. But I do think it is human or horse. You just got to think. There's a toe. The brain would probably be about this big, and a person with a toe this big. So, and of course it would be a lot nicer before it turned to rock and stuck in this kind of shape. This is definitely a brain. So thank you for joining me for the Rock Show. And please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and hit the little bell, and watch it again repeatedly, or don't. But this has been the Rock Show, and this is John Christopher Miller. The sponsors I have are me, myself, and I. I got product reviews coming up that I'm unsponsored to do. I'm not paid to do anything. I just think it would help people. So that's the show, the Rock Show. Thank you for stopping by.